Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen, for those of you that don't know me, and this is Growing Zone 9B, where we talk about mostly gardening, but because I'm in the field of mental health, we also talk about mental health and other things like cooking that are good for you. Alright, so today's video is going to be about what I got in the mail. I'm always getting something in the mail. I obviously love seeds, I love plants, and so I placed another seed order with Baker's Creek. I was telling you guys in the previous video that I wanted to get some more of, instead of it's the blue butterfly plant, except this one is actually white, and I'm pretty sure that's what's in this order. I didn't even know that there was a white plant until I started looking around on Baker's Creek, and I thought that that would be fantastic. I like the blue. The kids love the blue because you can mix the lemon with it and it changes the color of the tea, and it's super easy to grow here right now. I literally probably have like 50 or 60 blooms on one plant, and this is the second year that that plant has been blooming. So I have it in the grow bed over in the corner, and so it's been doing fantastic, and I would love to add, I still have enough space over there that I could add another one, and so I'm actually going to try the white and like intermingle it. Now I don't know if they'll like cross-pollinate and it'll kind of weaken the one that's purple, but we'll give it a try. Nonetheless, I have some extra seeds if that's what happens, and then I can just replant in the future, and maybe I create my own style of flower, but I doubt it. I think it'll just stay the same, so we'll see what happens, because I'm not really necessarily using the seeds. I have seeds if I need to get more. So all right, let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot I had ordered this. I didn't forget, I just forgot to tell you guys. So they have this really cool chart on there. A lot of my friends and family ask me about what they should be growing, and this is Clyde's garden planner. Baker's Creek sells this. This is super neat. This is something that I had been considering getting, and then I've heard, like, you know, a bunch of people saying how great it is. So I'm really excited to be trying this. Basically, it's a slide for your area, and it tells you what you should be growing. So I'm really excited to try this. This is like the first time I've obviously opened it, so. And it tells you what you can be planting. So like peas, like when to plant them, the temperatures. It's like listing the temperatures and stuff for you. It's super neat looking little calendar. I'm definitely gonna have to thoroughly review this, because oh, it has more stuff on the back, like onions, tomatoes, peppers, melons, potatoes. I think this is really gonna be good. My mom was just asking me the other day, she said, what should I grow? And so I ordered 3 of these from Baker's Creek, because I want her to be able to have her own, and then that way she has this little sliding scale and she can figure out what she would like to grow. Now my nephews were helping her, so I think this would be really good for them as well, because then they'll be able to just pull out Mimi's slide. And oh my gosh, I bought 4. I must have been wanting to give one to somebody, and I don't remember who that is now, but I definitely want to give one to my mom, that's for sure. So she's gonna get one, and then I have one. Of course, I always buy a backup. I probably bought the other one for my brother, in all honesty, so he could have one too, or maybe my aunt. Oh yeah, I think my aunt was actually asking me, that's what it was. She comes down, or my parents are actually supposed to go up and see her soon, and so that's what I'll end up doing, is I'll end up giving her one of those if my parents remember. All right, so I ordered this squash. It's a green squash. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's called ayote green flesh squash. I may be saying that wrong, but anyway, I just thought it was super cool because it was green, like, and it grows in temperature 70 to 95 degrees. And so here, as you guys know, it gets super hot. I mean, it gets in the hundreds. So I thought that this might be a really cool thing to plant, and then give the kids something where they'll freak out and be like, oh my god, it's green. I think that would be cool. Even I'd want to see it. I don't think people would like maybe want to eat it so much because it's kind of like funky green, but I like greens, so green stuff doesn't bother me. But it might bother somebody to be swallowing a green chunk of squash, so we'll give it a try, right? What does it hurt? All right, of course, you know, I always got to get some radishes. This is what happened. I bought extra radishes because I just got finished planting. I literally planted, I'm not even joking, y'all. I probably planted like 200 radishes because I was telling you about the lady that we're getting our eggs from. Is she, which reminds me, a lady at work brought me eggs and I left them in my refrigerator at work, but I'll have to get them tomorrow. Anyway, she likes radishes, and so I have planted like 200 of them, and some little worm has come across them and found them and is loving them and has chewed them to bits. So I'm going to go ahead and plant some more of these because the worms don't seem to like these as much as they like that French breakfast, and that's what I had planted was the French breakfast. So yeah, bummer on that. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to replant these and see what happens. You know, bug season down here is hellacious, especially when we didn't have like a super cold winter, which we don't often anyway. So for me, the bugs are they're just terrible, but they're here, you gotta live with them, you gotta find a way to work around them. All right, so here's the free seed I got, which is the spoon tomatoes. They're cute. I've grown these before, 75 to 95 degrees. So if you're really in a warm area, these will do pretty well. They are super tiny though. I mean like micro tiny to me. So I'm probably gonna end up giving those to my mom in all honesty. And then I realized I was getting low on squash because I planted a couple of squash plants. And so I figured I would just go ahead and buy an extra pack so that I can store it. These are also 70 to 95 degrees. I love Baker's Creek because it's free shipping, and so I'm sure on somewhere I'm paying for the shipping some way, somehow, but just mentally not having to pay for shipping where it's like, you know, $15–20, that's great, because if you go to Johnny's Seeds, they charge you pretty steep to actually get, you know, shipping, and you've also got to spend $200, which that's insane to me because not everybody, especially people starting off, who wants to spend $200 on stuff that you don't even know might or may not grow in your area. So Baker's Creek is always good to me for that, and that's my kind of go-to, so I like it. All right, then one of my lovely co-workers, I was telling her about the worms getting my plants, and she says she uses this. It's Harris neem oil concentrate. She got me a little bottle of it. I don't know where she got this from. It almost looks like she might have ordered it from Amazon, but maybe she bought it somewhere local. I actually didn't ask her, but she told me to give this a try. So I have used neem oil in the past. It doesn't seem to do anything. I think my aphids and all kinds of bugs just bathe in it. I think they're just like, oh, this is great. So we'll give this one a try. Maybe she's got, you know, this brand here. Maybe it actually works better than the brand that I've been purchasing. And, you know, we'll give it a try and see how that goes. So, I didn't have time. Yesterday I shot a video and I did not have time to walk you guys around and show you. It was the box video from Florida Hill. That's Hill Nursery. I was just checking them out again today because I'm really excited about those plants, and I honestly thought I might want to get some more bananas, because I was just thinking, like, you know, like I said, with today's economy and stuff, like, you really kind of want to be in the loop on making sure you can get stuff. And when my fiance went to, back up Luna, no baby, no. When he went to Costco, he was telling me that they didn't have any bananas, and I was just like, how does Costco not have bananas? Like, but see, that's how we become very dependent on you know, the system. And I said, yeah, maybe I'm the one that needs to make the change. I think that's a good realization right there, that you can't be dependent on the food system to some degree. You've got to create your own way, your own path. And I really think that these small dwarf plants are going to be just supreme for that, and I can put them in the grow beds because they only get about 4 feet tall. So I just want to take you guys around really quick and just kind of show you a couple of things that I hadn't gotten a chance to show you guys, and I'm not often doing the tours because I've just been so busy. So let's just take a little walk. That's Luna. She's playing with a shell in the porch area. So all right, so here we go. So right now I have these yellow nasturtium that are growing. They're growing amongst the peppers. Right here are some of the little radishes that I have kind of going on. And right here is a tulip. So I'm really excited about this beautiful pink tulip. I have one over here, but it's kind of like dying back. I think it's because the bugs and the heat are actually already getting to it. Back there I have a little bit of lettuce. I had this whole bed full of lettuce, but that's the only section that came up with the lettuce, honestly. There's a little bit of basil growing right here. This is left over from the winter garden. This is just a winter like lettuce. It's kind of spicy, and it's gone to seed, so that's fine. I'll utilize those seeds in the future. Here I have some red nasturtiums. You can see the leaf itself is much darker than the yellow down there, which is cool. Oh, that's that border I was telling you guys about that we have. Do you see like how nice it makes the edge look? So my fiance is actually going today, and he's going to be getting the rest of the border, and then we'll finish up the rocks in here, and that's going to be fantastic. He accidentally, you can see it looks so sad, he accidentally weed whacked with the weed eater the passion fruit. There was one that just kind of started growing on its own, and I said let it run up this tree, and unfortunately it looks super sad. I just went back and watered it, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so over here you can see that I have some little squash, and here are the radishes. They're like super sad looking. They're getting attacked, and it's so hot that they're kind of dying back. I wanted to mix the radishes in with the squash to try to keep the bugs off of them. So we'll see how that goes. There is the Egyptian walking onions. I have obviously some tomatoes that are coming in here. You can see the bunches. Now these are just regular, you know, tomatoes, not super large, not super small. As you can see, the jungle, I still have, the bees are loving it. Right there are some bees. So I'm letting this go to seed. This is arugula. I don't need to let it go to seed necessarily, but I said why not let the bees enjoy it. Here is some more. This is a trailing nasturtium. You can see it just runs all over, and it's absolutely just beautiful. I have a different type of tomato growing here. You can see they're coming in pretty prolifically. All right, here's my squash. I don't want to jinx it, but it's doing pretty good right now. I put some squash up here. I love zucchini, I love squash, so I am keeping my fingers crossed that that will grow. I've mixed in some carrots and then a couple of radishes in there because I again wanted to try to keep any bugs deterred, and radishes are pretty good at that. Down here is some leftover stuff from the fall. I'm going to go ahead once it kind of dries out a little more, and I'm going to turn it under in that bottom section. This was the only cabbage that came up. It was like an Asian cabbage, almost like a bok choy, and it's going to seed, which is fine. I'll keep the seeds from that. And over here, this is the butterfly pea flower that I have growing up the trellis. So I came out here today and I was picking these already. I'm serious, I must have picked like 50 flowers, and I love this plant. So I threw some carrots down in here. There's also some more radishes, and like I said, you can see like the bugs are already like, they're eating at everything. So I'm going to end up probably replanting, which is fine. This bed hasn't really done too much so far. There's a tomato there and then a tomato in the back. There was like 5 squash that I lined up here. There's some squash in the back. They're looking pretty weak and like they don't want to live. So who knows with that. These are actually left over from the mustard greens. I have, hopefully you guys can see, I have some papayas. I actually had a papaya tree that just completely fell over. So I'll have to show you guys where it just broke off. I put some squash over here. These are vining squash. And then I can't even like get through this section because honestly, the bees are all there and I don't want to disturb them. I should be growing for the fall. I mean for the summer, but like I said, I still have my leftover stuff for the fall. All right, so here's that Cavendish banana. That's the dwarf banana. I ended up putting it here in this, it's a heart-shaped bed. I wanted it over here because I knew that I would pay more attention to it. And I gave it some water yesterday, and the ground's still looking pretty dry, so I will give it some more water. I just put that dirt in. It's the topsoil. I just put that topsoil in, and it's already looking kind of rough. So I actually have some peas growing over here. So, oh, here's the mulberry. Look, y'all can see the mulberries are coming in. They're everywhere. That's why I love mulberry, because you can really get abundance. Look at that. You can get a lot of abundance from mulberry. And this whole tree, once again, this year is absolutely just loaded in greenery and pink. It's starting to turn pink because eventually they will turn purple. This is the Persian mulberry. I recommend that if you're going to live here in Florida in Zone 9B, that you get one of those, because that thing just is a prolific producer, and for us that's fantastic. All right, so here are some more radishes. I know I feel like a radish freak, but I wanted to preserve them. So here's some radishes. Back there are some carrots. You can see the bug damage. That is actually mustard greens that popped back up on their own, and so the bugs are really just annihilating them. Over here are loofah in this area that's growing. Here are some sweet peas that I have growing here and over here. It's really starting to get super hot, so I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but I said we plant some and see how it goes. Right there is another passion fruit. I wanted it to run all over. Of course, there's like a horn, but I really wanted it to just run all over, and it looks pretty weak and frail. Like I said, it just gets so super hot here that that's normally what ends up happening, is that it just, who knows if it'll work or not. That's why I try to buy several plants. I don't just do one plant, because I just never know what's going to end up happening. Like, all right, so over here I still have a bunch of beautiful tomatoes. These are the sweet 100s. You can see there's some red ones down there. And I also have some dill that's popped up in between. Dill's really nice to have. See, there's just like tons of tomatoes. And there's nothing wrong with having tons of tomatoes in the garden. I have these hibiscus, you can see. There's just hibiscus everywhere, just red everywhere. It's all over. Now you can make a hibiscus tea, so hibiscus is good to keep around. All right. We're walking over towards the little back piece. All right, so I still have some cabbage that's trying to do its thing. I have some bronze fennel, which I ordered this from Baker's Creek. This is some leftover kale. I'm still eating on that. That is another beautiful nasturtium. It looks so good. We have some more tomatoes. Under there are still some leeks. Like, you can see how long they have gotten. The tomatoes, like I said, it's really humid here, so you gotta really come out here on the daily and be picking off the dead to keep the airflow. But right now it's so humid that that's just not. And like I said, this thing just goes crazy. But you can see that this is what happens with that humidity around here. Things just, it just kills it, the plants. So you do what you can while you have it. But there's more tomatoes. The tomatoes just out of control. That's like one single plant that's doing this. Here's another tomato over here. And then of course here's one tomato over here, and I planted some squash. Now I planted like 5 or 6 squash, but unfortunately I can see that only one came up. I also planted some okra in here, and those have also not popped up. So, but I've got this beautiful tomato, and I'll take that for now. So, all right, over here I planted more zucchini and squash. I also planted that back half with okra, like I said. So you can see the mustard greens are still here, and they are getting ate up by bugs, so, which is fine. I mean, if they're the sacrificial plant, that's great, but you can see they're really just getting quite annihilated. Look at that. I've gone around and tried to kill the worms, but who knows. All right, over here's where I planted that dwarf blackberry, the free, oh no, that's, yeah, hold on, that's the dwarf mulberry that I planted right there in this back corner bed. I have some tomatoes growing right there. I still have some leftover kale, and there were a bunch of radishes. Look, see, you can see the radishes are just dying. Like I said, I didn't know if they would live or not. You can see that they are getting attacked. And so nothing is growing in this area. I did try to plant some stuff, but it just got so hot so fast. Even my tomato hates itself. So, and you can actually see the nasty white moths like just flying around. Right there is where I put that Freedom Blackberry, right there. So we'll see how it does and if it takes off. Hopefully it will. Yeah, and then I've got the water sprinkler going because, like I said, it's been so hot and so humid that it's not really getting water. It's more just like this miserable, like, sweat to death heat already. And like literally last week, like, this is how it goes in the mornings. Our temperatures have been fairly decent. It's probably been like 75, between 75 and 78, I would say, in the mornings, the early mornings. But by the afternoon, you're easily feeling those super high temperatures of like 100 degrees. So yeah, so it's very warm. All right, so this is the olive tree. This tree, like I said, I've shot a video on this before, is that you can take these leaves and you can make a tea with it. So do your own research, but that's what I end up doing, is I take these leaves and I use them for teas. So I'll probably end up coming out here and stripping this plant down fairly soon so that I can get the leaves off of it, because I'm running low on my tea. This is a regular just mulberry tree. You can see down there it's doing really quite well where the shade is, and then at the top it just kind of isn't as happy. So it is what it is. I'm grateful that I have it, and hopefully it will start producing. So that's kind of what we have going on. I'm gonna have to replant the garden basically. This is the neem tree, which, like I said, my friend just gave me some of that neem oil, but it's good to have this tree around because you just never know. It's good for antibiotic use as well. Like you can like take the leaves and like brush your teeth with it, do your own research, but that's what I've done. So a lot of moss, because the moss comes from the pine tree above it. Yeah, so pretty much that's what we have going on. It's starting to just really warm up here. So other than the mulberry and the hibiscus right now, there's not much going on in the garden. So, but that's all right. We'll keep trying, and we'll just bougie the garden up with our corner here and our edging. So I think that's super beautiful, and that's something that I've really been wanting. So I'm excited that that's happening. Yeah, look at the pink hibiscus. Is that not gorgeous? It's super huge. It's like, and then over here I have the yellow hibiscus still producing. Oh, and then I have a white hibiscus. Hopefully you guys can see it. That one's one of my favorites, and so I keep it over here. The rose bush is definitely putting on right now. Lots of roses, lots of beautiful roses. It makes for a beautiful smell. So, oh, and this is a beauty berry, here, and I have it with the passion fruit, and then that's another blackberry. So, and the passion fruit's been running all over here. So yeah, not too much right now because like I said, we're really starting to get into the heat of the summer. So we'll see how that works out as we move forward. I'll shoot some videos and let you guys check out what's going on, if there's anything going on in the garden. But really our time for growing is definitely going to be more towards